Hello there folks, and welcome back to my tying bench once again. In this tutorial I'm going to tie you up a dry fly, another pattern out of my book, The Universal Fly Tying Guide by Dick Stewart. It's a good book, lots of good patterns in it. And this particular fly is the light cahill parachute. And this guy is tied a little different than what I usually tie him, and the only difference is being the wing. This pattern calls for calf body hair or calf tail for the wing. I generally use wood duck flank here, but I'm going to stick to the pattern in the book. And it calls for cream hackle, and I just substituted it for cree. Instead of cream hackle, I use cree hackle for the tail and the hackle, and a super fine cahill cream dubbing for the body. So I'll get this guy out of the vise here, a new hook in, I'll get started. Okay, the hook I'm going to tie him on a size 14 94840 standard dry. We'll get him locked in here. Okay, and I'm using a pale yellow thread for the thread, denville 6/0. Okay, so we'll start our thread here, right behind the eye. And we'll wrap back to approximately halfway on the shank. Then I'll come back up halfway towards the eye and stop my thread there. Snip off that excess. Now I have some calf body hair in the stacker here. I'm just going to even it up for our wing. Okay, get all the short hairs out, and we'll get that situated here and measure that up. And I want that about the length of the hook or hook shank. And we'll bring that up around with a pinch loop. A couple of them, then I'm going to wrap back with some nice tight wraps. Just like so. Snip that stray fiber out. Now we'll lift up on those and put a little thread dam right in front of the wing to hold it up. Just like so. Now I'll reach back here and I'm going to snip those butt ends on a sort of an angle there. There we go. Okay, now we're going to post this guy, the wing. We'll post him. Come up around with our thread here. Post up the wing ways. And we'll gradually come back down. Just like so. Alrighty, and we'll stop right in front of the wing. Okay, there's our wing. We got it posted up. Okay. Now for the hackle, I got a cree hackle here ready to tie on. So we'll just take this guy and we're going to wrap him right up the post as well. Tie him in front first here. Just like so. Okay. Then we'll take our thread and we'll wrap him right up the posts. Right along the side there. Just like so. Okay, then we'll bring him back down again, the thread. Alrighty. Stop right behind our post, and there's our hackle tied on, ready to wrap. Now I'll snip that tip just behind the eye because I'm going to put more of the thread wraps over that here in a bit. Okay, now our next step, I just got a stray fiber there I want to snip out. I don't like that one. Okay, now we're going to wrap back over those wing butts and secure them down. Work towards the bend of the hook here. We'll end up just about in front of the, right over top the barb rather. Okay, and our tails, some cree hackle fibers. Just a larger hackle off the dry fly neck here, and I'm going to peel some fibers off for the tail. Probably about 20 fibers or so. It's hard to say. I don't really count them. Just pull off what you think is 15 or 20 fibers, and we'll measure that up. the length of the shank, and we'll tie that on top here, just like so. Gonna wrap back a ways on that, lift up as I wrap back. Alrighty, there's our tail. And I'm just gonna come in and snip those fibers off to where it meets the wing butts there. Secure those down. Okay, now we'll come back and we're ready to tie in our dubbing. Okay, now the dubbing. I have some super fine Cahill cream here. It's a really good dry fly dubbing. I'm just going to add a touch of wax. You don't need a lot of wax for this dubbing here. And I'm going to start dubbing a noodle for the body. And keep it fairly thin. And we'll build the taper as we go, as we wrap the body up. Alright. That looks pretty good there, so come back first, make our first wrap right in front of our tail there. Okay, then we'll begin to wrap forward. And we'll build a slight taper as we go. Just like so here. Okay, I'm going to need some more dub, so touch more wax. A little more of the cream Cahill dubbing. I'll put that on here. Okay, I'll finish dubbing this guy up. Yeah, I'm going to jump in front of that wing, and then I'm going to come around because I want my thread to end up on the far side. Your side of the hook's where you want the far side of the hook's where I want the thread to hang here. Okay, now we're going to wrap our hackle on the post. So, as you've seen in my other videos, in the last video I done on tying tips, I'm going to take a little bit of bone dry UV resin here, and I'm going to coat the post with that. The thread wraps around that post, just like so. Before I wrap that hackle down, and I'll get my pliers here. I just want to tell you, if you can get a hold of these rotating hackle pliers here, they're really a good rig for doing parachute flies. I recommend them highly. Okay, so we'll snip onto our hackle here. Okay, now begin to wrap down that post. Just like so. One wrap right down in front of the next wrap as you go down. As you do 4 or 5 wraps here. Okay, then I'll stop there. Now, I'm going to take that thread on the first side and come up, sneak underneath those hackles, right on the bottom of the post, and it's going to tie off the tip for you. Now, you should do 3 wraps, and it doesn't hurt to wiggle the thread as you wrap, so it doesn't bind down the fibers. Okay, then we'll stop our thread right there on the first side once again. Then just come in, right tight off that tip, sneak your scissor points in and snip him out of there, just like so. Okay, if I got any stray fibers on the bottom, I'll snip those out as well. Alrighty, so there's our hackle. Now what I'm going to do is add a touch more dub onto that thread before we wrap it forward. Just another skinny sparse noodle here. We don't need a whole lot. Alrighty. And I'm just going to lift up on these hackle fibers easy like. And I'm going to just wrap in front of that, like so. Just building a little hit on front of the fly here. Alrighty. Okay, there we go. He's a done deal now. We just got a whip finish left to do here. I'm just bringing those fibers that got trapped back down again. There we go. And there we have it. So what you do next, I'm just going to bring my whip finisher in here and do a 3 or 4 turn whip finish. Just lift them up gently once again. Do a whip finish. Slide that up. Snug it in nice and tight. And I'll snip off that excess thread. And just go around and adjust here a little bit. Make sure my hackles are spread evenly around. And I just have a few more to snip off. One more stray ones there to snip off the bottom. Alright, I just about got them here. Alrighty, there we go. So there we have it. Whoops, sorry folks. Didn't mean to bump the camera there. There we go. So anyway, one step left to do. You remember we got the resin on there on the hackle post, so I'm going to cure that now. And that's going to lock those hackle fibers nice and solid to the post of the parachute post. Just like so. Okay, done deal. Another size 14 parachute cahill. And it's that time of year that it's in a very effective pattern. So I thought you might like to see this guy tied up this time around. So anyhow, I'm going to see if I can get a little close-up for you without this going blurry on me here. There we go. I better not try to go too far on him. So anyway, there she be. I see a stray fiber there. I want to cut it there. Somewhere I've seen it. Alrighty. So, like always, I want to thank you all so much for watching. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos in the future. And the little bell to notify when I put more up. I'd appreciate that a lot. And until next time, everyone, happy tying out there. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon. And so long for now, folks.